Buenos días, estamos aquí con 8.3. Bienvenidos estudiantes del cuarto grado, espero que todo esté bien. El punto de estos trabajos no es solamente hacerlos, pero tratar de hacerlos bien, para sacar una buena nota, pero más importante para que aprendan algo. Bueno, aquí tenemos dos ejemplos de un problema que se encuentra en Think Central en 8.3. La primera se trata de multiplicar fracciones con números enteros. Entonces tenemos 2 enteros multiplicado por 2 de 5. El orden que tú multiplicas no importa, tú puedes multiplicar primero 2 de 5 por 2 o 2 por 2 de 5. Aquí tienes el ejemplo, 2 partes de un total de 5 y lo tienes 2 veces. Entonces, para completar este ejemplo, el entero se pone sobre 1, 2 de 1, multiplicado por 2 de 5. Entonces lo que tú vas a encontrar una parte de 2. Una parte de 2. Ahora, si tú también puedes sumar. Si tú sumas 2 de 5 y 2 de 5, más 2 de 5, más 2 de 5, perdón, sí, 1 de 5 más 1 de 5 más 1 de 5 más 1 de 5 te da el mismo resultado que la multiplicación. En este caso ahora vamos a multiplicar los números de arriba, los numeradores, y los números de abajo, los denominadores. So it's 2 times 2 and 1 times 5. And we get 4/5. And that's our final answer because there is no common factor that we can divide into 4 and into 5. 5 is a prime number. The only factors are 1 times 5. 4 is a composite number. You've got 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. No common factor other than 1, so 4/5 is the final answer. So that's all you really would do. Place the whole number over 1 and multiply it by the fraction. So what part of 2 is 2 out of 5? Well, it's 4 out of 5. All right, well, let's try the second example. So all of these problems you should be able to do just like that. Not very difficult. Just make sure you put the fraction over 1, the whole number over 1, and multiply the top numbers and the bottom numbers. All right, so now let's take a look at this word problem here. I'll read it in English. Lisa makes clothes for pets. She needs to make 5 out of 6 yards of fabric for 1 coat. So 5 out of 6 is very close to 1 yard, right? 6 out of 6 is equal to 1 yard. So 5 out of 6 is close to a yard, but not quite. So 5 out of 6 to make 1 coat. The question is saying how much yards of fabric will she need for 4 coats? So we've got to multiply 4 times 5 out of 6. We're going to get an improper fraction here. You could tell by the numerators and the denominators that we're going to get an improper fraction. So if we multiply across the top, we get 20 and we get 6. So it's an improper fraction. The top number is bigger than the bottom number. So we have to divide. We have to divide 6 into 20. We did this in class, if you remember. So 6 into 20. How many sixes, groups of sixes, do we have in 20? So if we do multiples of 6, we got 6, 12, 18, 24 would be too much because your dividend is 20. So it's 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18. And when we subtract, we get 2. So what does that mean? That means that 20 out of 6 as a mixed number is 3 whole times. What's left over is 2, and you always keep the same denominator, 6. So that's your answer, 3 and 2 out of 6. Now, one of the last steps that you have to do is to simplify 2 out of 6. Reducir 2 de 6. 2 y 6 son números par. They're even numbers. So if you divide any even number by 2, you find half the number. Cualquier número dividido por 2, vas a encontrar la mitad del número. La mitad de 2, 1, y la mitad de 6, 3. Entonces la respuesta final para este problema es 3 y 1 de 3. 3 and 1/3. That's your final answer. I hope this helped you out a little bit. You can watch the examples on Think Central or come back to these videos and maybe they can help you out. I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.